The girl who dated an idol star.
Chapter 1. Youngnis' Dream of Dance. Youngnis had always been a dreamer. Her biggest dream wasn't fame or fortune, but to move people with her dance. In high school, while other students focused on grades, Youngnis spent hours in front of the mirror, perfecting her moves. Her friend Hannah admired her dedication, but had other ideas for her. "Why don't you just become an idol?" Hannah asked one afternoon as they walked home from school. "You're gorgeous, talented, and charismatic. You could be huge." Youngnis smiled but shook her head. "I've thought about it, but being an idol seems like living in a cage. No freedom, always watched. I just want to dance, not be controlled." "But you'd be famous," Hannah insisted. "People would love you." "Maybe," Youngnis replied, "but I don't want to be forced into something I'm not. Dancing is my passion, not fame." After graduating high school, Youngnis followed her dream and auditioned as a backup dancer for PWW Entertainment. She worked hard, earning a place among the elite team of dancers. Her talent and beauty drew attention, especially from the older staff and even the company's CEO. "She could be an idol," the CEO had once mused. "She has that spark." But Youngnis wasn't interested in being a star, she just wanted to dance. While many admired her, the female dancers grew increasingly jealous. "She thinks she's better than us," one of them, Hyojin, often whispered behind her back. But the real drama started when the Hustle Boys came into the picture. Chapter 2. The Hustle Boys. The Hustle Boys were the biggest sensation at PWW Entertainment. 6 members, Jagahan, James, Taochan, Garuda, Kimin, and Jungha, had taken the world by storm. They were good-looking, talented, and their songs topped every chart. Jungha, in particular, was the face of the group. With his sharp jawline, striking eyes, and a voice that made hearts melt, he had become the most popular member. But there was one flaw in Jungha's otherwise perfect idol persona. He couldn't dance well. During practice for their new album, the backup dancers, including Youngnis, were brought in to help demonstrate the choreography. As the music played and the dancers moved, Jungha's eyes couldn't tear themselves away from Youngnis. Her movements were flawless, each step smooth and captivating. His heart raced, and before he knew it, he was entranced. "Who is she?" Jungha whispered to himself, his gaze never leaving her. After hours of struggling with the choreography, the group took a break. The dance coach pulled Jungha aside. "You're falling behind," he said bluntly. "If you don't catch up, you'll hurt the performance." James laughed, nudging Jungha. "You've always been a terrible dancer. Stick to singing." "Yeah, leave the dancing to us," Kimin added with a grin. Jungha sighed, feeling the weight of their words. He had never been good at dancing, and now it was becoming a problem. But his mind wasn't entirely on the choreography. It was on Youngnis. He wanted an excuse to be closer to her. Suddenly, an idea sparked. "Coach, what if one of the backup dancers trained me?" Jungha asked. The coach raised an eyebrow. "Which one?" "That girl, the one with the long black hair. She's incredible. I think she could help me." The coach hesitated. "Youngnis? She's talented, but it might be better if you worked with me." "Please," Jungha insisted. "She's the best dancer here, and I think I could learn a lot from her." Kimin overheard the conversation and pulled Jungha aside. "Are you crazy? That could lead to rumors, scandals. You know how things work in this industry." "I don't care," Jungha said, determination in his voice. "I need to get better, and she can help me." Reluctantly, the coach agreed, and the private lessons began. Chapter 3. The Unauthorized Dance Training and Growing Feelings. Jungha's progress was remarkable. In just a few days, his dancing improved more than anyone expected. His members noticed. "Wow, you're actually getting good," James said, watching Jungha keep up with the group. "What's your secret?" Jungha smiled, but didn't say a word. He knew his secret wasn't just better practice. It was Youngnis. But rumors were spreading fast. The female backup dancers, especially Hyojin, were quick to notice how often Jungha and Youngnis were together. "Stay away from him," Hyojin hissed one day after practice, cornering Youngnis in the locker room. "You're causing trouble for all of us. He's an idol. You're nothing but a backup dancer." Youngnis stood her ground. I'm not in a relationship with him. I'm just helping him get better at dancing. Yeah, right, Hyojin sneered. We all see how he looks at you. Youngnis was hurt, but too brave to show it. She walked out of the room, determined not to let the gossip bother her, but no matter how hard she tried to deny it, she felt something for Jungha too. Meanwhile, back at the dorm, Jungha couldn't stop thinking about Youngnis. During dinner with his group, he barely touched his food, his mind completely elsewhere. Kimin noticed and nudged him. Dude, are you okay? You've been acting weird for days. Jungha blinked and tried to shake off his distraction. I'm fine, he mumbled, though his heart told him otherwise. Chapter 4. The Confession. The next day after practice, Jungha couldn't wait any longer. He had to tell her. His group members left the practice room, but Jungha lingered behind, hiding around the corner of the hallway. When Youngnis passed by, he quickly stepped out, grabbing her arm and pulling her toward him. Jungha! Youngnis gasped, startled by his sudden move. I can't stop thinking about you, Jungha blurted out. His voice was filled with desperation. I think I love you, Youngnis. I'm sorry I don't know what's wrong with me. Her eyes widened in shock, and she opened her mouth to respond, but before she could say a word, Jungha quickly kissed her. It was impulsive, but he couldn't help it. When they pulled away, both were breathless. Youngnis looked at him, unsure of what to say. Jungha, this is dangerous. I know you like me, but I signed a contract to never be in a relationship with an idol. We shouldn't... I don't care, he interrupted, holding her hand. I don't want to hide how I feel. Let's date secretly. No one will know. We can keep loving each other, and when we are both old enough, we get married. You love me, Youngnis, don't you? I have always loved you, but... Youngnis said as Jungha cut in quickly. I don't want to hear the rest of that. You love me, and that's enough for this to work, Jungha replied. Despite their mutual feelings, they decided to keep their relationship a secret, knowing the consequences if anyone found out. Chapter 5. The Scandal. But secrets don't stay hidden for long in the entertainment world. Hyojin, fueled by jealousy, had been watching them closely. One day, she managed to snap a picture of Jungha and Youngnis in a private moment, and without hesitation, she posted it online. The photo spread like wildfire. Jungha was in the dorm when he saw the post. His stomach dropped. No, he whispered, realizing the disaster that was about to unfold. At the same time, Youngnis received a notification on her phone. She opened it to find her world crashing down. The comments were brutal, calling her names and accusing her of ruining Jungha's career. The hustle boys gathered in their dorm, staring at Jungha. Kimin spoke first. Do you know what you've done? They're tearing us apart online, James added, pacing back and forth. This affects all of us, not just you. Jungha sat in silence, guilt washing over him. He knew they were right. Chapter 6. Break up now. The backlash was overwhelming. Fans were turning against Jungha, but it was Youngnis who received the worst of it. She was painted as a villain, and the hate was relentless. PWW Entertainment tried to manage the crisis, but the damage was done. To make things worse, Youngnis's family was furious. Her mother, a strict woman who had always warned her about getting involved in scandalous situations, scolded her over the phone. You've ruined everything, her mother yelled. I told you not to get involved with an idol. Look at what's happening now. Aruinis, her sister, chimed in. You've worked so hard and now you're throwing it all away for some guy? Is he really worth it? It was a mistake, Youngnis said softly, but her heart was heavy. Was Jungha worth everything she was about to lose? The company demanded that they break up. They couldn't risk the scandal getting worse. Jungha, torn between his love for Youngnis and his responsibility to his career, reluctantly agreed. He held a press conference, his face solemn as he spoke to the fans. I've decided to end my relationship with Youngnis, he said, his voice shaking. It's the only way I can continue to be the idol you all deserve. The news broke Youngnis's heart, but she understood. They were both being forced to sacrifice something precious for the sake of their careers. Chapter 7. The Assault and Intervention. The day after the press conference, Youngnis received a call from PWW Entertainment to meet with the CEO and managing director. On her way to the company, a group of angry fans, loyal to Jungha, spotted her in the streets. "That's her!" one of them shouted. Before Youngnis could react, the fans started throwing things at her: eggs, soup, even oranges. They screamed insults, blaming her for everything that had happened. Youngnis curled up in fear, covering her head, but the assault didn't stop. It wasn't until the police arrived that the fans scattered, leaving her bruised and shaking. When she finally reached the company, still trembling, the CEO and managing director showed no sympathy. "Youngnis, this has gone too far," the CEO said coldly. "Your relationship with Jungha has caused too much damage to our company's image. We're letting you go." "But I was attacked," Youngnis stammered, her voice breaking. "How is this my fault?" Before they could officially fire her, a familiar voice interrupted. "Wait." It was Jungha, bursting into the room, holding his phone. "I have a video," he said, showing them footage of the assault. "If you fire her, I'll sue the company for not protecting your employees. You have no right to ruin her life like this." The CEO and managing director exchanged nervous glances. Just as things seemed to escalate further, another powerful voice joined the fray. Sutan, a popular actor with immense influence, had seen the video of Youngnis being attacked. He held a press conference speaking out against both the company and the toxic fans. "This is unacceptable," Sutan said sternly, his voice echoing in the room. "Youngnis is a talented dancer who did nothing wrong except love someone. She shouldn't be punished for that. The company should be protecting her, not firing her. Those who assaulted her must be held accountable." Chapter 8. A Change of Heart. Sutan's press conference shifted public opinion almost overnight. His words carried weight, and soon, fans and the media began to support Youngnis. People realized how unjustly she had been treated. PWW Entertainment, now facing immense pressure, had no choice but to retract their decision. The CEO called Jungha and Youngnis into the office once more. "You're free to date openly," he said, his tone now much softer. "We'll support you both." Youngnis and Jungha looked at each other, relief washing over them. After everything they had been through, they could finally be together, without hiding. Chapter 9. The Comeback. With the scandal behind them, Jungha and Youngnis resumed their relationship, this time in the open. The public's hatred melted away, replaced by admiration for their resilience. Even those who had once criticized Youngnis began to apologize. Youngnis continued to dance, her talent shining brighter than ever. She received offers from other companies, even appearing in music videos and commercials. Her career soared alongside Jungha's. The Hustle Boys released their new album, and the lead single, Eternal Love, became a massive hit. The song, inspired by Jungha's feelings for Youngnis, touched the hearts of fans worldwide. During their performances, Jungha danced flawlessly, thanks to Youngnis's guidance. As they stood on stage together, Youngnis as a backup dancer and Jungha as the lead idol, they both knew that their love had endured the hardest test. They had faced the storm and come out stronger, with the world finally accepting their right to be together. And as the music played and the crowd cheered, they knew this was only the beginning of their journey. Together, the end.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.